Hey, what's going on, everyone? Supreme coming here. So we are looking at, I want to call this like a free to play, guide for like how to make a good melee unit for just anyone who needs one, I guess. So this one is purely going to be standard parts and limited parts, not limited part, event parts only. So you're not going to be seeing any like so has limited parts because I feel like this is something everyone can achieve. As for like those Soulcats limited parts, I feel like everyone's box is different, so I can't really speak for everyone. But this is a pretty good setup I have built myself over here. The main foundation of this unit is going to be based off of the Master Gundam over here because Master Gundam, if you guys have know, has access to Mobile Fighter, which is one of the best tags you want to be using for like a melee build besides Pro Tag over here because both Pro Tag and Mobile Fighter actually give you a 10% stat increase. So we take a look over here, if I can click on the Master Gundam head over here. So this is you have Mobile Fighter and High Firepower. I feel like High Firepower is, did I have High Firepower? No, I have Close Combat. So this is a pretty good one over here because it's going to raise melee attack by 10% and melee defense by 5% as well. So Protect and Mobile Fighter is like the same version as like Ace exclusive and a commander for that build. But I would say in terms of the melee build, is I want to say it's a little bit more free to play friendly if that even is the case over here. So this one, you are even able to like one shot like this week's multi missions boss over here, the Satan Gundam over here. So we actually do that as well. But before doing that, let's actually take a look at what kind of setup I'm using over here. So in terms of the overall structure, like I said, I'm gonna be using tags wise, pro tag, close combat, and mobile fighter over here. But what I did over here is going to be Master Gundam plus the XC over here because XC actually going to provide a little bit of a EXE boosting over here. I don't recall any standard parts or any permanent alteration in current days has any double buffing. Like I'm talking about EXQ slash melee power boosting and all that. So if I did miss that, please do let me know in the comment section below. Just to correct myself on that. So this is gonna be pretty good. In terms of the chest over here, we have the Master Gundam as a base, and then we actually have this week's Warfare Alteration. This one is actually pretty good. The N3 kit over here because of this effect over here. When you have info to job, buff EXO effect by 15%. 15% is a little bit on the low ball, I would say, but 15% is 15%. It's gonna significantly raise, I would say, your output of your EX over here. So that's why I'm using this one over here. So when update melee power boost by 30%, so this is going to be a pretty decent free to play option over here. Not bad. So I have this as a sub slot over here. I didn't really care too much about the sub slot parameter stat up over here. I don't think that really matter as much, you know. This part tray over here is gonna make up the majority of like just the damage output, I would say over here. In terms of the arm over here, I think the arm is a little bit more flexible in a way. So depending what build you're using, I feel like if you're using a T build specifically, you can sub slide in double XC arm. I think that will be the better option. But for this build purpose, I had to use a P attribute, so I'm gonna go with a big alteration for the L strike over here. So as the L strike over here is also gonna give me when close combat is active, melee power boost by 19%. So that is gonna be pretty clutch actually. So when one enemy down, cooldown reduced by 39% over here. So we don't really care too much about this over here. So that's pretty good in this manner over here. As for the subslot over here, I went for the regular XC over here because that's the only one that is pretty good for subslotting. But if anyone is curious, if you guys have the Night Unicorn arm over here, this one over here, you can actually subslot into the L strike, the big L strike, because they actually share two tags over here. So it's gonna give you a whopping 40.5%. So if anyone is curious in that manner over here. So all right, moving on to the leg over here. So let's see what the leg is doing over here. So the leg in this scenario, I have again Master Gundam as the base, and then we are gonna sub into that big scale 1-to-1 scale XA over here. So they are gonna share close combat, so that's why they're gonna be a little bit high in sub slot trace over here. So 30.1% or 31.0%. So that's gonna be pretty good. In terms of the tray over here for the Master Gundam leg, it is actually pretty decent. Not gonna lie. This one is gonna actually piercing. So after the challenge with Anishi, I feel like piercing deserve a pretty good, in terms of like review, I want to give it a little bit more of a, you know, appreciation to it, because like if you have, for example, 100% EXP piercing boost, you can take on any of those, like whatever condition they have. Like some say they have high shot defense. Some say they have high melee defense. If you have 100% EXP piercing, you can literally break through any of the barrier with no problem. So for example, I think one other condition is like, oh, your enemy has extremely high, let's say melee defense. You can still take it like a melee unit with like a 100% EXP piercing, and you will just do fine, right? Because I believe their tips wants you to use like a shot build space, because like, um, so if you take a look over here, so my melee build will have a significantly lower shot defense, so that's why in the Nishi challenge they want you to use like shot build against like high melee defense, but with 100% piercing you can break through that no problem. So that is a little bit of a side track over there as well. In terms of the Master Gundam, so as for the backpack over here, I use Master Gundam as well. And then as for the subslotting, we are actually going to be using the H1 Titus over here. This is a summonable 3-star over here, so I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have seen this already. So this one is probably one of the better 3-star alteration over here, I would say, in terms of like the summonable one over here. When taking physical, melee power boosted by 25%, so this is going to be huge in terms of like, I still use this on like my regular build. I found this really powerful in terms of the portrait. And with the second portrait right here, with power attribute buff EXP effect up by 22%, so currently we are up to around 37. So 37 buff EXP effect is, you're looking at a pretty decent one already. So this is extremely good for whatever build, as a free-to-play build, or even as like a, a mix of like standard soul cash limit build over here. So this is a pretty good subslot over here. So they actually share one trait as well. So you are going to be getting a 20 or 15% up per render as a subslot. So not too bad. But the stat of the H1 is not going to be too extremely high. So even as a subslot, you're not really getting too much out of it. So alright, so as for the melee weapon over here, we are looking at double Gene Sword over here actually. So this is a pretty good setup over here, because we have one small at the regular size, and then we also have a 1:1 to scale. So that is going to further increase your subslot per runner up to 51%. So what you can actually do, if you don't want to use this option, you can actually just do double Master Gundam. I feel like that will be good as well, but I feel like the subslot stat is not going to rival against any part that had a 1:1 to scale over here. So this is going to be pretty good. Melee attack coming in at 13.4k over here, so this is actually looking pretty decent. In terms of the portrait over here, we are looking at when attacking physical, another EXP boosting by 19%. So if, for example, whatever reason you are able to max out everything, this setup, what I have over here, will be looking pretty decent as well. So we don't really care too much about the crit. I feel like that is not going to serve too much of a purpose overall. So that is that in that manner. I feel like as a ranged weapon, it doesn't really matter what kind of things you want to sub in. I feel like if you are able to manage all your traits, all your vortex correctly, I feel like a fodder slot is gonna be like your ranged weapon. It's something that is, I feel like in that slot, you can just probably think of something you can do to like further power up either your EXQ or like your melee power boosting and all that. But what I did in this scenario, I went, because I need something for Pro Check, I actually went for the premium capsule F91 over here. I want to say this one is like a free-to-play option. I want to say it's a free-to-play, but not really, because you have to summon for this one. A little bit harder to summon for it, but this one is quote-unquote like you can get it for free. So I don't know. This one is like on the gray zone, I guess. This one is gonna be hard to pull. That's for sure. But this one is actually gonna be pretty good. This one is actually pretty good already. With Saber category equipped, EXP power boosted by 17%, so that is always going to be good. But what I did over here, I went for the GN launcher, the Austria F type. So this one over here, because this one actually has a just 3% higher in terms of EXP power boosting, so I feel like just that 3% can make a big difference already. So that is that. In terms of the shield over here, I feel like I probably did not went for the best option. So this one is gonna be the 1-to-1 to scale, or just the regular RH72 shield over here. So this is this over here. I feel like if I were to do double Ixia shield over here, I think I can definitely get a better boosting. But unfortunately, I don't currently own the regular Ixia shield, so this is what we resort to over here. But in terms of the portrait, we are looking at another one of these. So this one, when your combat power, or yeah, your combat power is over 150,000, buff EXQ effect up by 6% again. So this one is powerful. Like I said, these are excellent. So at max, I believe is at 22%, maybe? Yeah, 22%. So if for whatever reason you are able to max this out, this one's gonna serve a great purpose to your overall build. So we are looking at 42. So we were at, hold on, we were at 37, then plus 6, yeah, 42. So 42 buff effects is actually pretty good already with this setup. But 1 month ago, we actually had the Blue Destiny alteration as the warfare. That the shield of the Blue Destiny actually gives a, I believe it is either another 15%. So that one is good as well. But I don't have that alterated, so that's why we are resorting to using this one over here. All right, that's the last part over here. The last thing we need to go over before we hop into like a build, or not build, before we hop into that multi-mission boss. So it's gonna be this one, the pilot over here. We are gonna be using the Domo Kashu, the Mirror Shin over here. So this one is actually gonna be pretty good. So in terms of the tray over here, when mobile fighter is active, all power boost is up by 19%. Portrait, or in terms of the war tag, it's gonna be pretty solid. You do have mobile fighter. That is the last mobile fighter tag I need for my build. In terms of the sub slot, I actually went for this this series of free pilot over here, the Yori over here, because they share the same tags over here. So that is gonna give you a up to 25% if I have everything maxed out over here. So this is gonna be a powerful sub slot over here. Alright, in terms of the skin I'm gonna be using is gonna be this one over here. Let me see. This one over here. So this is gonna be a pretty good setup over here. So one combat stand and then 2 level 10 EX over here. So combat stand alpha, this is coming out of the H1 normal head over here. So that was, I believe, I don't know how many months ago. It was another one of those like welfare alterations. So this is coming out of a 49%. So this is gonna be extremely powerful. In terms of the 2 EXQ I'm gonna be using is gonna be the Transcend Ray over here from the Ixia, and then we're also gonna be using a level 10 bicep over here. So it's gonna be damage dealing over here. So alright, so let's actually hop into that multi-mission boss and see what we can do. Alright, we are at the multi-mission already. So unfortunately I don't really have any like initial charge, so I'm gonna have to sit here and wait for that, I believe 20-ish second so yeah, I believe 20 seconds, because because they are closing into that max level for the Exia, so that's gonna be like around 20 seconds. But for the bicep, it's gonna be 20 seconds right here on the dot. So alright, so we're gonna activate this over here, and then we're gonna activate this and see. I don't know if it's gonna actually one shot. I feel like it's gonna be a little bit on the shy area, like almost, yeah, not close at all. So we're gonna have to do some melee over here. So or we got the first help down already. So I don't really need the job ratio at this point already. I feel like the bicep, just that level 10 along itself, should be able to take care of it. So let's see if we can do it. Let's see. I don't think I can do another rerun of this. Okay, 2.37 with a finishing blow. Good job, bicep. You did a fantastic job with this. So this is a pretty pretty good free to play option, I guess, over here. Alright guys, so this is a standard slash event port over here that is currently now able to take on that multi-mission boss over here. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this build over here, or something this is you guys can do as well. I feel like if you have this setup over here, you can just change some stuff here and there, like for example later on you are able to get the Master Gundam. I feel like you can upgrade to that as well, but I feel like the Master Gundam overall right now is a little bit more, in terms of style wise, it's a little bit more better than the Burning Gundam. But there's some stuff you can obviously exchange out for. But it really depends on what your build is and what kind of parts you guys have. This is obviously a free to play I want to say free to play because they are standard parts and event parts. So hopefully you guys do have these parts in your arsenal. But there's so many different options that I really did not mention because those are the parts that I have all traded and that I have in my box. But you can always come down to the alteration page over here and just take a look at what kind of like other build they have over here. Like you have the Mars support, that is pretty good as well. But I feel like that in terms of the tag wise, I think they're not the best. Like in terms of comparing to the Ixia, like in terms of the overall trade, I think the Mars support is actually pretty good. I believe there's a few more good in terms of like melee part. I feel like you can also look at the Force Impulse, the big scale one. I feel like the big scale one is the one you want to look at first because they do carry out the higher stat as a sub slot, So that is pretty much it. I feel like just quickly taking a look at the alteration page before alterating your parts. Like seeing what you really need and what you can sub slot can be a good option before alterating it. Save some of your resources and all that. But with that being said, this is a pretty good free to play build or parts I built for in terms of the melee version aspect of it. I did the shot variant of it. I feel like that one was pretty good as well in terms of like obviously I didn't really take it onto like the multi-mission boss because there isn't a lot of like free to play or standard parts cutscene E skill that kind of rival ups or to the transit rate or the bicep because I don't recall having any like range to build like any shot based cutscene E skill that has alteration in terms of like the permanent side of it. So that being said, this will be pretty much it for this video over here, and then I will catch you guys all on the next one.